So if you've got a smartwatch, you've definitely seen this thing, the cardio fitness score. It's this one single number that pops up claiming it knows exactly how fit you are. But what is it really? And more importantly, can you actually trust what that little gadget on your wrist is telling you? Let's dive in. Right, so you wrap up a run. You look at your watch and boom, there it is, a score. Maybe it's 42, maybe it's 35, maybe it's 50. It's a number that seems to go up and down. And honestly, it can be pretty confusing. So is this thing for real? Is it an actual reflection of your health? Or is it just some random number generator? Well, to figure that out, we've got to first understand what this score is even trying to measure. The best way to think about it is like a performance score for your body's engine. That score on your watch, it's an estimate of something called VO2Max. And VO2Max is, frankly, the gold standard. It's the single best measurement of your cardiorespiratory fitness. To put it simply, it's the maximum amount of oxygen your body can gulp down and actually use when you're going all out. So a higher number basically means you've got a bigger, more efficient metabolic engine. Now, before this number just started appearing on your wrist, the only way to get it was in a super specialized lab. So let's take a look at how the pros get the real, official, gold standard measurement. Yeah, this is what it takes. A full-blown cardiopulmonary exercise test, or CPT for short. It's not messing around. You get strapped into this mask that analyzes every single breath you take while you run on a treadmill until you physically cannot take another step. It's intense for sure, but it is incredibly precise. So how does this crazy test actually work? Well, it's pretty simple in a brutal sort of way. You just start moving, and every couple of minutes, the technicians crank it up. More speed, more incline. Your job is just to keep going until you hit your absolute limit. And the whole time, that machine is measuring your oxygen, looking for that one single peak moment. So how on earth does this little gadget on your wrist, with no mask, no lab, no team of scientists, even begin to replicate that? Well, this is where some seriously clever math comes into play. Here's the secret sauce. Your watch understands a fundamental principle. There's a direct, straight-line relationship between how hard you're working, that's your speed and the grade you're on, and how fast your heart is beating. So by tracking your heart rate during a normal workout, it can make a really smart guess about where your heart rate would be at your absolute peak. And from that, it works backward to estimate your VO2 max. Pretty cool, right? And what's interesting is that not all watches play the game the same way. Apple, for example, needs about a 20-minute outdoor walk, run, or hike to get a reading. Samsung, on the other hand, can sometimes give you an estimate after just a 10-minute outdoor run, as long as you're moving at a decent clip. But you can see they both rely on the same core tech: GPS to know your workload, and those little green lights on the back, the PPG sensor, to track your heart rate. Okay, so we've established it's a guess, a super smart, educated guess, but still a guess. So the million-dollar question is, just how accurate is it? Let's actually look at the data. According to one clinical study that put the Apple Watch head-to-head with that gold standard lab test, the mean absolute percentage error was 13.31%. So what does that actually mean? In plain English, it means that on average, the watch's guess is off by about 13% compared to your true lab value. And here's the thing about that error. It almost always goes in one direction. Study after study shows that smartwatches tend to underestimate your VO2 max. So if the lab test says your real score is a 48, your watch might show you something closer to a 42. So chances are, your engine is probably a little more powerful than your wrist is giving you credit for. And there are a bunch of real-world things that can totally throw this number for a loop. That optical heart rate sensor can sometimes lag behind if you're doing intense intervals. If your watch is a little loose, it can accidentally lock onto your arm swing, your cadence, instead of your pulse. And this is a big one. Your watch has no idea if it's 95 degrees outside. It just sees your heart rate skyrocket from the heat and thinks, whoa, your fitness just dropped. So you might be thinking, okay, it's off by 13%, and a hot day can mess it up, so why should I even bother looking at it? And that's a totally fair question. But it's because we might be focusing on the wrong thing. See, here's where it gets really useful. Your watch doesn't just throw a number at you. It places you into a category based on your age and sex. So for a woman in her 40s, for example, a score below 26.5 is considered low, while getting over 32.4 puts you in the high category. These classifications are where the real magic happens. And this right here, this is the absolute key. Forget about the exact number for a second and just listen to what the health researchers say about this. If your hard work is enough to move your classification up a level, say from below average to average, you can be confident that you have made a real, significant improvement in your health that is directly linked to a lower risk of mortality. That's huge. So, the power of this metric isn't in any single reading on any given day. It's in the trend line. Over the last 6 months, is your cardio fitness score generally going up? If the answer is yes, then your fitness is improving. Period. The trend, that's the truth. And when you start to see it that way, everything changes. It stops being this frustrating, inaccurate lab report, and it becomes something else entirely. Your own personal health compass, always pointing you in the right direction for your long-term health. And trust me, this technology is just getting started. It's getting smarter every single year. Just imagine a future where your watch automatically adjusts for that hot and humid day, where it learns your unique heart rate fingerprint, and where it can track your fitness just as well from a bike ride as it can from a run. That future is right around the corner. So let's circle all the way back to our first question. For decades, this vital health metric was locked away in expensive labs, something only elite athletes could access. And now, it's on millions of wrists, giving us daily feedback. The question isn't just, can you trust the number anymore? The real question is that thing on your wrist just a fun fitness gadget? Or is it something much, much bigger? A powerful new tool in the future of preventative medicine?